Hello, people. It's a pleasure to have you join us today on the program Woman to Woman. I'm Adesuwa Osawage. Tuesday, 11th October 2022 was a day set aside to celebrate the girl child. It was the International Day of the Girl Child. What is the future of the girl child? What is even the present of the girl child? Are female children safe in our country? What are the challenges that they face? What do we face as girls? I'm still a girl, so to speak. So what are those challenges bedeviling the girl child? Is Nigeria a safe place for the girl child? Is Edo State a safe place for the girl child? What about the policies that are being made? Are they favorable to the girl child? If yes, what about implementation? And those responsible for the implementation, are they doing their jobs? You as a parent, how are you training your girl child? Are you training her different from the way you're training the boy child? Because in some homes, stories abound and stories are different. So today we're going to look at all of that, and I have a group of girls, so to speak, in the studio who work for the cause of girls in all ramification, trying to build morals in girls and all of that. They're here in the studio today to talk about the girl child. When you look at what is happening in our society today, sometimes you will have cause to worry about the future of the girl child when you see what is happening in our society. So join me as I make welcome two beautiful ladies from Girls Brigade, and they're here to talk to you on how to raise your daughters. So join me as I make welcome Captain Beauty Merem. She's the Edo State Girls Brigade Prayer Coordinator. Happy to have you join us here.
Thank you, Ma, and thank you for joining us.
Okay. And I also have Captain Lovett Dibia. She's the Edo State Girls Brigade Assistant Secretary.
Thank you, Ma, for having
Happy
us.
to have you join us. So, Captain Merem, Beauty Merem, you are the State Prayer Coordinator.
Yes,
Let's
Ma.
take it from there. Do girls still pray?
Yes, they do. Yes, we have girls all over the world and in Edo State who still uphold the habit of prayers, the attitude of praying in the morning, in the night, and every time they had opportunity to. It is part of the Girls Brigade program to teach girl child how to pray, because in Girls Brigade we believe prayer solves all of our problems. Why we instruct them and teach them to be dutiful, to be intelligent, and to be wise in whatever they do. We also believe in teaching them about God and prayer. So
Is it all girls now, or just girls in your brigade?
Thank you, Ma.
Do you do advocacy? Do you reach out to people? Do you reach out to young girls regardless of their affiliation?
Yes, Ma, we do. We do. But we are guided by an organization called the Girls Brigade. But there are times that we go out to advocate and bring in girls and teach them on the importance of prayers. For instance, we have our International World Day of Prayer, which is normally every June 10th. We gather our girls and teach other girls. We invite people from every other organization and our community to come in and join us to pray for the girl child.
Okay, I'm going to take you up on that again. Let me talk to Lovett now. Okay. Lovett, Tuesday was International Day of the Girl Child. Now remind us of the theme.
Okay, the theme is Our Time is Now, Our Future and Our Rights.
Our time is now, our future and our rights. Okay, Lovett, is it really our time as girls?
It's our time.
What have we suffered as girls?
We've been faced with a lot of challenges as a girl child. The female folks, the female gender, we've had a lot of challenges while growing up, and then we feel it's time that our voices will be heard.
Okay.
Our voices need to be heard. It's time for us to act, so everybody knows what we are facing and what we are going through as a girl child.
So how are we acting? How are you acting? How is the organization helping the girl child?
The Girls Brigade
so that their voices will be heard.
Okay. The Girls Brigade is a voluntary organization in which we call all girls to speak up. Wherever you are being abused, violated, molested, we speak up, and then you get help from the Girls Brigade.
So to what extent would that help the girl? To
has
what
been-
extent do you take that help thing?
It has been helping, and it will still help.
How?
All we need is for the girl child who is being abused to speak up.
Any girl child?
Yes, any girl child. We have several measures in which we have put in place to help the female girl child.
Please, can you talk about these measures?
Okay. This is, the measures would be the physical, the service, the educational, and the spiritual. You see, in Girls Brigade, these 4 square programs helps the girl's child to know what they are doing. The physical, we talk about the training. The service, we talk about the services which we render. The educational, we talk about the things we need to learn. And the spiritual is where we come about our prayers. There's an adage we say, if there's a man to pray, there's a God to answer. So definitely there's no way we'll solve any solution if we don't know what is happening. You see a girl, she's going through a lot. There's nobody to speak to. But a situation whereby a girl who is enrolled in a company under a church comes to her officer or her captain to speak up, there is no how that girl will not get solution. A situation whereby you don't speak up is when you go through depression. And then the trauma of it too, you go through it alone. But a situation whereby you have somebody you talk to, there is no way you will not come out from that problem.
Okay, I'm particularly worried at what is happening in our society today. Have you taken time to drive around Edo for some time, at some sharp corners, so to speak, where you see our girls almost naked,
Yes.
all in the name of hustling? And then you see our girls where they sell their bodies for money. Not only here, they're so all over the country now. And then particularly worrisome is the age of those girls. They are usually between 15, 20. They're teenagers. All right? Have you ever done something like a road walk to sensitize these children, those young girls, on the dangers of exposing themselves to such harmful practices?
Yes, ma'am, we do. We have awareness. We create awareness everywhere we go. In Edo State, we create awareness. We've started doing it, and then we can't stop. Just 2 days back, we actually went to a community where we sensitized them about the dangers of violence, molestation, and then also we empowered them. We gave them things, we talked to them, we divided ourselves into groups. This is what we do, and we keep doing it.
Okay, Beauty, while we were discussing, we started with prayers, and you said prayers answereth all things.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, most of these girls, they pray. They come from families, right? But unfortunately, you see that in most homes these days, the mother works, the father works, they hardly have time for the children. And sometimes these children, they engage in harmful practices. You see a young girl of about, say, 10, 11 is already sexually active, already smoking, drinking, and engaging in other vices. All right? So is it that these young girls are not praying hard enough to avoid these vices, or their parents are not training them enough?
Okay,
Or
ma'am.
they are not paying attention to these children? What could be the problem?
Okay.
Or what do you think could be responsible for all of this?
Thank you very much, ma'am. But I think I would not solely say the issue is with the parents. But I think most of the girl child that we have met, you found out that some of them, their parents are too busy that they really do not have their time. But like we talked about prayer, in most homes, parents don't longer bring their children together in the morning to pray. Rather, you hear mommy saying, I'm going late to work, and daddy already is late for work. Yeah, 2 days ago, like my sister had said, we were in 9-4, where we called parents. We didn't just go about calling the girl child, but we made sure that we have to talk with their parents to have their time. A story was given during our campaign 2 days ago about an 8-year-old girl whose mother would always give her to a keke rider to take my child to school and help me bring the child back. And then this young man took the advantage of the carelessness of the mother and would take the child into an hidden corner where he abuses the child and take the child home. This happened for so long, and the mother didn't observe that the child was not acting as normal as she should until it became too obvious. The kekema was apprehended by the police and they arrested him. Now, in that way, we told parents the importance of making sure that they take their girl child to school and go to pick them up when they are done. And not only school, sometimes parents are careless enough to leave their girl child in the hands of housemaids, who sometimes are male folk, uncles and aunts and other. Sometimes even their father can abuse them. So we had time to talk with the parents in NIFO and tell them and give them reasons why their eyes should be on their female children to avoid violence and sexual molestation and all that. Because we know that when children are molested sexually, they are threatened. If you tell daddy or if you tell mommy about this, I will kill you on the way and all that. So we now beg the children to make sure that they speak up. In Girls Brigade, we have different positions where you can actually go to. We have our state commandant, we have a captain, we have the lieutenant. These positions are there. In case you are afraid to talk to your commandant, you can go to your lieutenant. If you are too scared to talk to the lieutenant, you can come to an NCO, a non-commissioned officer, who you relate your challenges to, and that NCO bring it down to the office of the commandant, and from there we take it up, even up to fighting the right of the child in a human rights affair to make sure that the child gets justice. That's what Girls Brigade stands for. Thank you.
Okay, we're talking as if the girl child is more important than the boy child. So, Lovett, is the girl child more important than the male child?
No, they are not. The male child is also important, and then the female child is important too. Both are important. But we place more priority on the girl child because the girl child suffers more. She goes through a lot, and then most times we find out that there's nobody to talk to. Because when she goes through these things, she tends to handle these issues on her own. And then if you look down into it, you find out that most times you don't handle it well. But a situation whereby a girl who is going through anything goes to a more matured person, seeks help, you see that she gets solution to whatever it is that is going on with her.
Now, what is the difference between growing up in our time and today? Because growing up, my mom was always available to be talked to, regardless of the fact that she was strict. And the way, those days they will tell you that when a man touches you like this, you get pregnant and all of that. Now, that's coming to sex education now. Okay. Like you said, parents are always in a hurry to go to work.
Yeah.
Children are left at the mercy of housemates.
Yeah.
They are, like you said, one carelessly left the child with a keke. That's the best the woman could do. You understand? But how should we talk to our girl child? Because these days, girls become suicidal. They get into drugs. They get into a mass prostitution, so to speak. But they don't see it that way. When you see a group of girls, oh, we are friends, and before you know what is happening, a girl cult is being formed, and then so many things. So how should parents relate with their girl child?
I think parents should get them involved into organizations like Girls Brigade, Girls Guide.
Is it every person that have the time? Because I was talking to you backstage and you said you do a lot of travel. Like me, I hate traveling. Okay. So, and then, do we have to belong to this organization to get it right?
If you ask me, I would say, if you don't keep a child busy, certainly friends will keep them busy.
Okay.
Like, for instance, if a child is occupied with these organizations that will always be there to teach them, like I said, in order not to make children get bored, because we observe that children easily get bored.
Yes.
By God's grace, I'm a teacher. I teach I've taught in preschool Then I've taught in the primary session, and by God's grace now teaching in the secondary session. And I've observed that among this age, there are age that children get so bored if you don't occupy them with something that worth it. Even in the classroom, there are times you want to teach them and they are bored. So they start making unnecessary noise. They want to go for break. They are tired. They just want to sleep and all that. So if you leave a child for too long without occupying that child with something useful, the child seeks to get fun elsewhere. And that's why you see them forming, she's my friend, we are friends, we are a group of friends, because they have nothing to occupy them. For instance, children go to school Monday to Friday, and then get brigade practices is always on Saturdays, or for most other persons, Sunday after church. Now, if throughout the Saturday a child is just left in indoor, most parents will tell you, you have to do your homework, you have to do this and that. At a time, the child just wants to see something different. The child wants to meet with other people. So we allow them come together. There's something we call company drill. The drill is like a physical play where we allow them interact with one another. We allow them talk to their mates. We tell them, tell your mates. If you cannot tell me, then we have a younger person like you whom you can play with and talk to. And it has really helped, because most time when we gather them for camp meeting, you find out that some other girls will come to you and say, Auntie, this person told me this while we were playing. You know, that brings to your consciousness. Most time we call the child and say, did you really say this about your parents? Did you say this about your friends at school? And then we take it off from there. But if we don't give them that opportunity, they might not be able to speak up, and they keep those things to themselves and grow with it.
Okay, Lovett, Captain Lovett, let me ask you this question now. You've been in this organization, you've been dealing with girls, you've been talking with them, trying to mentor them and all of that. Let us look at the issue of secrecy now. A lot of girls do keep secrets, particularly from their parents. And some mothers, I must confess, are very harsh. There's a difference between being strict and being harsh. There's a difference between being strict and being harsh. Some mothers are extremely harsh. Some don't even know that they are harsh because they feel that they are disciplining their children. Okay, now, if you're too harsh, your child will hide a lot of things from you. So, I love it. How do we get girls to begin to open up to their mothers? Because the last person a girl wants to talk to is her mom. The last person a girl wants to talk to is her mom over issues. You have to press and cajole. And even if that girl is opening up, she may even lie. Because I don't know if our biological makeup does not have that shock absorber to absorb some things from our girls. So that issue of secrecy, how do you deal with it? Okay.
Secrecy. If I am not close with you, I would not want to tell you what is going on with me.
Okay.
So I would urge all parents, particularly our mothers, try to be very, very close with your child, mostly the girl child. When you have that bond with your child, there is nothing your child won't tell you. I grew up in a home where my mom was very close with me. She will tell me, whatever it is you want, tell us, we will provide. Whatever is going on with you, tell me. I will know how to handle it. Even if it's something that is dangerous, she will tell you, tell me, we will find a solution. That way you find out that you are so free to tell her anything that is going on with you. And in a situation whereby a parent is so rigid that the child will say, if I tell mommy this, what will happen to me? She will just beat me. I will prefer to go and tell my best friend outside. You see that those things are what makes children so hard that they would not even want to look up to their mother or their father to say, mommy, this is what is going on with me. Daddy, this is what is going on with me.
Out there,
so I will advise our mothers, let us try and be very close with our girl child. Not just the girl child, our children as a whole. That aspect of us whereby our child will come to us, mommy, something is wrong with me, please get out. That shouldn't be. What should even be, call them, draw them. What happened today? Try to find out what's wrong with them. You see that they will just be open to you. You don't even have to apply any magic to tell them. You just see that the thing just keeps flowing from them. Mommy, this thing is happening. Mommy, something is happening. How do I go about it? They just freely open up to you.
There are some of us mothers who work 7 to 9.
Okay.
There are some of us mothers who maybe because of the traffic or other things that are happening around us, you go to work as early as 6 a.m. or 7 or maybe 8 or 9. Before you get back home, it's late in the night. Perhaps the child is already asleep. How can such a parent be close to a child, even if she desires to? But the circumstances surrounding that parent may not permit. What is such a parent supposed to do?
Okay. There is no parent that is so busy that you will not have a time for your child. You don't necessarily have to wait for that child to come to you and tell you, Mommy, something is going on with me. You are a mother. You have feelings. You should just see your child. You should know something is wrong. You will call the child and say, what is going on? You just see that she just talks to you and then everything is settled. You see her mood. She's depressed. You must have that feeling that something is wrong with your child. She opens up to you and then you find a solution to her problem. And then another thing will beg the parents too. Let's try not to fail in our responsibility as a parent. My mother is not decent and then you want me to open up to you. What is the example? What is that role that you are playing in my life? My mother should be my role model. Or my mother should be my best friend. She should be somebody I look up to and say, I want to be like my mom when I grow up. My mom is dressing indecently. She speaks anyhow to people. What example am I learning from her? So you see that every mother, every parent should try not to fail in their responsibilities. You are failing your responsibilities, you're talking to your daughter or you're talking to your son. There is no way they will listen to you.
This thing you're saying now brings to mind one fateful day. I was on my way to work and there is this woman driving a Camry car. So unfortunately, I could not pick the number of that car. It's a dark color Camry, you know. And then she was eating rice from a cellophane. You know those rice they buy in cellophane. And then she was waving on the road. She would drive to the left, to the right, you know, like that. She was not stable. And I was like, what is this woman? I thought maybe she was drunk or something was wrong with her, but she was just waving on the road. She had about 3 kids behind and one in front, and the one in front is very obese, you know. Very obese with low cut, and they were all eating from this tight cellophane rice and all of that. I'm sure she was enjoying the rice so much that she forgot that she was on the express road. So when I leveled up with the woman, you know, I said, Madam, please, why don't you park and eat if you know you cannot control yourself as you are eating? And the next thing, the girl in front gave me the finger. The F finger was like, in front of your mother? And the kids at the back just went on. It was like, I don't understand. And they had a mother. And the mother was just bad-mouthing herself and all of that. You know, I had to park my car somewhere to reminisce on what happened. Could this be a mother or somebody gave her those children to hold? So like you said, being a role model is very important and very key. You said if a woman dresses indecently, the child will copy and all of that. Okay, before we leave now, let me ask you now, Captain Beauty, your take on the issue of, you know, this, by the time a girl is 15, she's already fending for the family. I've seen it not once, not twice, not 3 times. And then you hear mother says to other children, don't you know what your maid do in town? You're encouraging your girl to sell her body at 15 or thereabout to fend for the family. What's your take on that?
Actually, that's a very bad scenario. Because I did my Empower in a public school, and these children, though they were boys because they are twins, and then we observed that one of them does not like coming to school. And before you know it, the other boy started joining the twin brother, and both of them will come to school and then they run away. Then one day, a co-teacher decided to call them and ask them some questions. Why don't you like coming to school? Why is it that you're not stable whenever it's school time? You want to go out, you want to... So they had to open up. That auntie, we normally go to pick iron. Like they go and pick on them iron during school hours, and they said to Aboki, who gives them money. And then the question was, what do you do with the money at this age? They were just J1 students. And one of them said, we give it to mommy to buy us food. So we give the money to our mother, and then we use the rest for our upkeep. And it was too shocking that everybody in the staff room we were all surprised. What kind of character is that? So they decided to send for the mother of the boys. And when she came, she was told this was what we got from your children, that they go to sell condemned iron and bring the money to you. And the woman placed her hands on her head and was screaming, "That's not true, ma. I never sent them any day to go and pick iron for me," and all that. You know, when she left, the teachers and some of us there said, in every lie we think a child will tell, there will be a phantom of truth. Though this woman had come to say, "No, I didn't send them," but the children kept insisting that.
Bad as that one is not as condemnable as when a woman will encourage her girl child to sell her body at that tender age just to fend for the family. I think these are issues your organization should look into, help girls to grow so that we can have a decent society. If we have decent girls in the society, we will have a great nation.
Yesterday, 2 days ago, during our rally, I asked a question after we invited someone to speak on the team, and then I stood to ask her a question because she was saying, you do not have to go for being an ass girl or go with any auntie to whatsoever. Then I asked her, will the girl child protest? Should she fight the parents or trying to send her?
That's a huge question. Should the girl child protest now to have a better future? These are many more questions we're leaving to you, the mother, to answer for yourself. Thank you, ladies, for finding time to be on the program, Woman to Woman. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye for now.